So next up is another big news thing, and long awaited, I think. Maybe also some would say long overdue. But we have 1.0 coming up very, very soon. Johan, how soon?
Hi, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing?
Awesome. I'm good too. I'm good too.
So
I guess
you are
I'll
here
talk
to talk
about
about,
1.0.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm Johan or J Halls on GitHub. I'm one of the Backstage maintainers. I have worked on and the team and a lot of other contributors have worked on getting Backstage ready for 1.0 release for quite a few weeks and months now. There's been a lot of deprecations, cleanups of like API services, all to make life as smooth as possible for people after we've released 1.0 to have hopefully as few breaking changes as possible in the future for the core systems. But yeah, so there is quite a few things to unpack here with 1.0 because we're making some changes to our release schedule and how we think about the packages and versions and so on. So I'll try to unpack that to the best of my abilities. So at the moment, or maybe I should start. A Backstage release is really an umbrella version for multiple packages. As you all know, Backstage has a bunch of plugins that you get, a bunch of APIs, libraries, and so on. All of those are individually versioned. And once a week currently, we bundle those up into what we call a Backstage release. We've changed to version numbers now. So if you go into our GitHub repo, there is a 071.1, which is the latest release. Tomorrow morning, we're making that a 1.0 release. And with that also comes a promotion of some of the core packages inside Backstage to also get a 1.0 release. That includes a bunch of the core packages, the catalog, scaffolder, and tech docs as well is getting bumped to version 1. With that, we're also slowing down the release cycle a bit for our releases. So at the moment, you get a new release every week. We're moving to a monthly release cycle now. So that means tomorrow we have a 1.0 and in a month we'll have a 1.1. But it might be that you're a trailblazer or you want to have the latest and greatest. You have developed a new plugin and you want to consume that as soon as possible. And to make that possible, we're introducing two what we call release lines. So we have the main release, which is the monthly one that comes out once every month. And then we have the next releases, which is our weekly release. Pretty much the same as we have today. The only difference is that it's not the default that you get out of the box. If you run a versions bump today, you get the latest main release. But there is an option now to supply a release flag, which gives you the latest next release, pretty much. We're also, since we're promoting a few packages to 1.0, we're changing the version policy or introducing a version policy for packages. Previously, we've used something we call the stability index, which was basically a place on the website where you had to go in and check, what's catalog backend, what's the stability index if I'm making changes to that backend or to that package. What we're doing now is basically making a a difference between packages that reached version 1 or above, or packages that are on version 0. So we're still going to have a bunch of packages that are early, that's going to like have the regular updates, like potentially breaking changes in minor releases. But our major version packages, those that are on 1 and above, have some stricter policies now, like we're not going to do breaking changes without having at least 1 month of deprecations out, for example, and we're going to do our best to have as clear guides on how to make that transition from version 1.0 of TechDocs to version 2 of TechDocs when that happens. So that's one of the changes that's going to happen as well. All of this is out on the website as well. So there is an update for the version and package policy that I hope someone will share in the chat. Yeah, so our regular, like the individual packages inside Backstage will adhere to the December policy. So like breaking changes on a 1.0 package means you will release a 2.0. But the overarching Backstage release that goes out as 1.0 tomorrow, that does not adhere to December. It's similar to what you see in Kubernetes. I mean, that project has been out since, 2004, and it's still at version 1. So we're probably gonna have a version 1.48 of Backstage in the future. I think that's the gist of versioning and version 1 of Backstage that's coming out.
Yeah, awesome. And I think, well, that we were all waiting for this for quite a while, but there's a lot of work in this, right? Behind the scenes to get all the documents ready.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot going on with like cleaning up, making sure that we have nice and tidy APIs and documenting as much as possible. And the community has been tremendous, helping out with like preparing docs and like making sure that everything should be as smooth as possible for people that get into Backstage and like learn how to use different APIs and so on.
Yeah, and I like the quote, hopefully we'll not break anything.
Absolutely. I mean, there will always be breaking changes. It's just like how we handle them, and we hope that like this that we have a bit more structure now in how we do introduce breaking changes as well, and give a bit more room for people to notice that there is a deprecation out and give them time to actually update. To be honest, though, I do think a lot of companies, including Spotify, is probably going to continue on the weekly releases to get everything as soon as possible to find those new features and get those as quick as possible, because everything that goes in the weekly releases will eventually land into the main release that goes out every month.